I wanted to hold off on recording this because um, a few different reasons, internally and externally. Um, Internally, the reason that I am recording this right now is because I just had a dream, and it's been a while since I've been up, but maybe not that long, but it feels like it's been longer, probably 10 minutes. But I wanted to record the dream before I completely woke up and forgot all about it. Well, actually, more than 10 minutes because I was playing the game and everything. It's been, yeah, about 15 minutes. But in the dream, it was work related and education related. It was a two-story building. It reminded me of a library in Miami. And in that place, I was taking an exam on the first floor. Um, and it was an exam that was to further my education for a work related purpose. And it's not, and that's a bunch of BS because you know for real that really those types of exams are just to, you're just jumping through hoops. You're not learning anything, you're not educating anything, you're memorizing what needs to be memorized, and then you're moving on. Um, and that was how I was in real life. I had a situation where that's how I was told to take a test, and this was recently. Um, and it was all a part of a big training process, not just the exam portion, but it was like, you know, how the military people go through a training of how they interact with the team and that type of thing. It was that type of thing. Because then after the written exam, I had to go upstairs, and upstairs we were given certain orders. And this is not a military thing at all. I was dressed in regular clothes, and uh, the attitude was like a college student attitude, but it wasn't. We were all like young adults, like early 30s, which I am no longer and haven't been for some time. But so went upstairs to get special instructions, and this I guess was second part of the exam was actual real world physical interaction, and my goal was to to clear two security levels, and it had me going upstairs and downstairs and punching codes into doors to get in, just to, because whereas before to get the instructions you could just walk in and get them, then there was, it appeared to be a similar office, but it was a glass door and you had to punch in your code to get in. And so that's what I did. I punched in my code to get in, and well, actually, I didn't know the code. That's what it was. I don't think it was, for some reason, I think it was intentionally maybe not given to me as a test to see how I would react. And so what I ended up doing, there were other people, maybe 10 other people, altogether it was like 10 of us, maybe 10 to 12, something like that. Black and white, I think. There was a couple other black females. And so I went upstairs, and I guess maybe there was a special instruction on how to crack the code or something. I don't know what it was, but I didn't know what the code was. I don't know if it was intentionally not given to me as part of the exercise to see how I would respond, or if there was a riddle that was included in the instructions that I had to figure out to get the code. And it was a glass door. And then first I thought it was just me individually taking this exam, but then I started seeing other people the same way. We were professionally dressed, and professional business casual, that type of thing. Punching in the code, we're running into the girl punched in the code. Somehow she figured it out. And it's like we were all trying to, run in behind her to finish the next part of our task and run back downstairs. Same thing. So maybe they were just, experimenting with human behavior to see what would happen. When you have an exam and you have a deadline, and there's something very pertinent. And I felt like it wasn't just for, I felt like almost it was like it was a training, even though we were not dressed like in military clothes. It was an institutionalized training type thing, where maybe governmental, or it was creepy. It was just creepy. It just had a creepy feel to it. But at the end of it, I ended up like on a second floor of a building. It was nighttime after all of that back and forth was over. And second floor of a building, I was trying to take it was the third part of the quiz, and this was more casual. People were dressed more down. The feeling of the second story of this building that were kind of out in the woods, that was big and it really big and aired out, was kind of like a summer camp, or if, the Catholic shelter place had like a lot more room and space. There was like no air conditioning, and the windows were real big and open. And it was like big tables, like you would imagine children would sit and doodle during the day, but at night they turned it into something else. And I remember I was to take the third part of the quiz, and it was just so odd, like taking that third part of the quiz or exam. It was like you were kind of given the answers and you didn't know you were going to have an exam, but you were just told to study. But you were given these answers, and then they told you, okay, you're going to take an exam. So they escorted you to where to take the exam, which was like a little small round, like a round table, but very short. Like you would have kids sitting there. And so, so I started to take the exam. There was this big black guy, kind of yellow, brown skin with dreads, and he seemed nice but tough. And I remember, I don't know why we had a little bit of an interaction, and it was nothing. It was like basically me starting to ask something. He didn't know. I didn't get a chance to complete what I was asking, but he knew what I was asking before I began. And it wasn't really that he knew exactly, but he knew what I needed. So he gave me some information, and he was looking at me like, you need to use it, and that's not what I asked for, but I was like, thank you, okay. So I went to sit down to take the quiz or exam, and we all had like notes or whatever, or it appeared that we all had notes out. So I included my stuff with the notes. There was like some trifold pamphlets on his table, and it's so funny. It reminds me of a children's table, because you know how you go to a doctor's office and there's like the spiral thing where you move the little wood chips up and down it. That was on the middle of the table, and I remember reaching for one of the brochures. The brochures actually turned to be an application. One of the ladies came over to me, and she was like, um, go ahead and fill out, do your exam or whatever. And so I looked, and when I opened it, the exam or the application was already completely done, and it had my name on it. So I don't know if this is indicative that I'm going to be a victim of some type of fraud, or somebody's going to use my information the wrong way. Because it had my name on it. It was definitely not my handwriting, but it had my name on it. It was completed already. And I thought that was the oddest thing. So I went to show someone, and they were just like, well, don't worry about it. Time for the exam is over. You can take it on the computer. So I started to do it on the computer, and I forgot what there was special instructions he gave me on doing it on the computer. It was more like, I don't know, for some reason it was like copy and paste all this information, and then um, it was something special he was telling me to do, and then go back and answer these questions and whatever. And so I was starting to do it, but I got sidetracked. Some girl came in, we started talking, and I just got sidetracked from it all. And next thing I know, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And but it was still a feeling of expectancy for me to complete that exam. There was a woman, a small woman with long brown straight hair, and she's a lot older, maybe 60. But um she was very small and unseemly, but she had the appearance of an accountant and the presence of like, she was noting everything like a psychologist or something. Like she was studying, but she was like, "I'll take the exam." The other administrator was a big black guy, and I felt like, and when I say big, I mean heavy set big. Like he was like an administrator slash security, like a bouncer or something. And I still had the strong feeling that there was an expectancy that I needed to complete that exam. I'm gonna do part two because this is a little bit longer